Good mid-afternoon, 3:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, December 30th, 2022. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. As you can see, the Dow's down about 176 points. You can hear my son in the background. He's being very vocal. If you want to see my situation in front of me, this is how it looks. So this is my situation behind me right now. Is I have my Nutcracker collection. Give you a little look inside of my living room, and yeah, that's I'm allowed to have it because it's the Christmas time right now. And then I've got Bloomberg on in the background, just seeing it. So you can see the Dow is down 176 points. We've got currently the S&P down 24 points, and the the Dow's down 167. The S&P 500 down 24. And the NASDAQ's down 70 and some change right now. So we're in a little bit of a retracement here after a breakdown in all markets. But this is the typical thing. We break down. We have a retracement. We've had the DXY has broken down as well. But as you can see, just like the rest of the markets do, you have a breakdown. And as you see, we fell down below the immediate pattern. But we haven't broke this uptrend just yet. So you'd look to first break 103.25, and then ultimately if we get below the pivot of 102.94, that's when we can have big pull downs here in the DXY. And you know what? I think I like doing these updates like this where you can actually see me. And because Julie got me my mobile desk, I can actually sit here and it's easier to talk to everybody. So maybe I'll show you more of me. Even though I kind of look like hell today because the dental work and stuff, and I didn't get a lot of sleep, but still. You know, sometimes it's good for you to see me so you can see I'm a real person. I'm a real boy. So, no, they would say I'm a real man. Voila, Tom. Christ almighty. We're not even going to acknowledge it today. The U.S. 10-year. The government bonds up 1.62% to 3.88. That's a little bit up today. Crude oil is up about 2%, over $80 a barrel again. So watch at the pumps as that'll probably push up a little bit. PBR still under a little bit of pressure. Still looks like PBR would come down eventually here. Let's see. I would look for a rejection here on PBR. I mean, we could finally get hammered down here, but this looks like a little bit of a channel that's created. It's going to be hard to get past. This is the crude oil, but it's going to be harder to get past $83 here again. So we'll see what crude oil does. And then in regards to petroleum, because we have to have a relation with the, let's see, that could have built a little bit of a pattern here. We might be coming back up here to $12.80 if it doesn't get pulled back down here. But this very well could come back down. So look at the $10.45 mark here, because if it breaks back below that, then you got a little bit of an issue. As you can see, the gold and silver markets, they're pretty flat today. Up about $8 for gold. Commodities are under a little bit of pressure today. Silver's, it's flat. This is all flat. And unfortunately, if the DXY does pump up from here and at least retest some of these areas from the drop down, you very well could have a situation where risk on, you know, dumps as well as the risk off assets. And like the risk off would be like the gold and silver and commodities and precious metals. They have dividends. You don't have as much as a risk factor. And if you want to be honest, if we look at gold this year, it's down about 0.8% on the year. It's almost back to even. As to where if you look at Bitcoin, which is supposed to be the other store of value, you're down. So to put it in perspective, gold, and this is why you can never, and let's have a real conversation here. Be very careful when you hear people talk about Bitcoin and gold both being store of values. I'll show you what a store of value is supposed to be. Despite all of the volatility in 2022, despite gold going all the way down to $1,618 an ounce. Remember, in December, let's go to the end of December of 2021. So starting January 1st, roughly, in this range, gold, we started January. Gold was about $1,830 an ounce to start 2022. To end 2022, you can see, as a store of value, gold is essentially dead even right now. We're even. We'll probably end the year even. If not, slightly up if we continue to go up a couple dollars here today. The point is if you had all your money in gold, despite the U.S. dollar's turmoil, even though the dollar's gone up a little bit, but it's coming up and down, instead of having it in all your money in crypto and Bitcoin, because everybody said you could put the same amount of money, Michael Saylor especially, hey, put all your money in Bitcoin. What's the difference? It's a store of value like gold. So anybody who did that or even sold out of their gold to start the year, because we're only going to do it from the 21st, or the January 1st of this year. We could go farther back and I could make it look a lot worse, but I'm not here to make things look in my favor. I'm just showing you the truth. So Bitcoin to start the year, Bitcoin was at 49,660 roughly to start the new year. We were over 50K. We started the year at 50K. So with Bitcoin, or with, let's say you had your money in gold, you'd be even right now. If you had $10,000 in gold, you'd have approximately $10,000 right now. If you had $10,000 in Bitcoin, it's scary, folks. You'd have $3,200 right now. So you tell me what's a better store of value. In high times of inflation, when it's risky to own assets, you're telling me, like all these schlubs said, even on TV, they say Bitcoin's the new store of value. A store of value should not lose you 68% in a calendar year, ladies and gentlemen. I have the stats now in front of me because it's been one whole calendar year. I'm showing you the truth here. Pay attention. And I'm showing myself so I can be liable, so that you can hold me accountable for what I'm saying. I'm not a financial advisor, but what I'm telling you is how to properly do this. Would you rather have $3,200 left of your 10 grand year to year, even in a very volatile gold market, when it dropped all the way down to $1,600 approximately an ounce, but it came right back up, and even then, that's what, a 20% we were down. But it came back up very quickly, and year over year, you're dead even in a down year for gold and silver, as most would say for precious metals. But in Bitcoin, you're down 68% right now. Let's see where we at. We'll put it to here. Would this make you feel better? At 16,800, we're down 66%. So congratulations. You have $3,400 left out of your 10 grand. Does that put it in perspective why you can't use Bitcoin as a store of value? From me to you, do not use Bitcoin. Had you have used silver as your store of value, like I did mostly over gold, silver's actually up over the year. But I'm looking at this on a gold to Bitcoin ratio. Bitcoin's down 66% in 2022 from January 1st. Gold is even. So if you had your store of value in gold, you still have all 10 grand left. If you put it into Bitcoin, you have about $3,400 left to your name, if that's where your store of value was. I don't know about you, but if you have a savings, I sure as hell don't want to see 66% of it gone in a calendar year. You wonder why so many people went broke? I'm looking at everybody. Everybody who preached the store of value with Bitcoin. Everybody who does what I do. Everybody who misconstrues what's actually going on. It's a very detrimental thing. This community, amongst probably no others, because of the way I do things, because I cover all markets, and because I'm very transparent when I buy all my gold and silver, and what I do with my profits, and where all my money sits on exchanges, I think the fact that I was able to make such big profits in a short bull market and then cash out with over 400% gains and be out still to this day, I think it speaks volumes. I've sat out the entire 80% drop on some of these alts, especially XRP. I mean, you can't put your money in a store of value. Like I keep saying, gold and silver money is 1/3 the part. You have 1/3 in gold and silver, or whatever precious metal. I prefer silver right now, but you can do it however you want. But in a precious metal, that's how you become your own central bank. But you also have a way of creating revenue very quickly. So you have to have a casino-like atmosphere, and that's where crypto comes in. You must have something that can make you extraordinary amounts of money quick. It can also lose you a lot of money, though, if you buy at the wrong time, and that's how this works. That's how you get the liquidity pool for the ones who are smart enough to buy it in the bear markets at the bottom or at the start of bull markets, and they ride it at the proper times. That's where the liquidity pool comes from. That's why they're willing to pay these influencers the big bucks, because they need the liquidity pool. So they tell you, buy and long hold. But unfortunately, if you're buying and long holding, your 10 grand right now is only worth $3,400. Sure, and Tomorrowland and Fantasyland, it can be back up to 50 grand. or 50K for Bitcoin. But there's a scenario where Bitcoin never gets back up there. There's a world where Bitcoin doesn't exist, folks. Not at this level. And I sure as hell wouldn't want to be saying, oh, I'm down 66%, but I'm confident my money will get back to 10 grand. I'd rather be working from even ground of 10 grand with gold. And then here's the secret nobody tells you. You could always take your 10 grand out of gold when crypto gets to the bottom, and then you can try to maneuver it, but I wouldn't touch that money. What I'm telling you is you keep 1/3 in there, and then now because we're fully intact, the 1/3 of our crypto money is not down 66%. We have full funds right now to go in full balls deep if we have to, balls to the wall. So once you do that, then you've got crypto you can buy when it's cheap. Well, there's your casino. Now if you get 5, 6, 700% on $3,000, $4,000, now all of a sudden you've bankrolled 20, 30 grand real quick. Last year I turned 3,500 and turned into bankroll 15 grand in a matter of 3 months. That's what I'm talking about. You need to do shit like that. Now my commodities and precious metals is up over 10 to 12 grand in the same time from profits when I strategically bought in, because we had a huge dip down to under 1,700, almost 1,600. The gold silver ratio was out of whack. I kept showing everybody the enormous amounts of purchases I was making. There's a reason why, because the time is coming. And now my crypto is fully intact. I have over $4,000 in just UPHOLD for funds. I've built up over 1,300 on BITGET from the futures, which I haven't even futures traded in a couple weeks. So I've got a nice, just over 5 grand for crypto right now when it comes down to it. I've got over 25, 30 grand in precious metals now. And then I've got my cash on hand. So, and I always say to have about 5 to 10 grand liquid in cash. I'm not saying you have to have it in your house, bury it underground, keep it in the bank. I don't really give a shit what you do with it. But you have to have liquid cash as well. So that's how you do it, and you start to build your own central bank. And then, you start to take out credit. You don't necessarily use it, but you want to buy stuff on their dime. So I've got 10 grand I can put on credit cards. When I got my dental work, I put the $900 on the credit card, paid it right off. But I got points for it. You use it. You have credit at your disposal. That's why, or disposal. That's why it's so important to have good credit in the United States or across the world. Because if you can use their money and not your own, you have a lot more flexibility. So really you can have 1 part credit, 1 part cash, 1 part crypto, 1 part precious metals. But remember, the credit has to be paid for with your cash on hand. That's why I have a 3-part system. You've got to have enough cash to pay things like that off. So take it from me. I live this. This is what I do. I don't go work a 9-to-5 job. I figured out a way not to have to do that. And it happened before YouTube. This isn't how I used to pay my bills, and it still isn't how I pay my bills. That's why I don't have to take paid promotions. I don't have to take paid advertisements. I don't have to have special interest here. Because we don't pay our bills through my YouTube. We have other sources of income. My social media, even if I made $0, we would still be paying our bills. It goes through my trading and through the stuff I've already set up that's automatically being done. I also understand how to manipulate the dividend system through the precious metals market and commodities. So pay attention to what I'm saying. We'll take a quick look at XRP, but this was more about giving you the info and the intelligence to be able to do what you need to do in this future environment and to do what I'm doing. After all, I'm living proof that it can happen. You see what I do. I haven't gone to work in 2 years while you guys have been watching me. I work every single day. I work my ass off, and most of it's for you guys now. But when I'm doing my trading and doing what I need to do, I do it strategically. That 15 grand did what I needed it to do. Now turning into precious metals, the next leg up for precious metals, which is going to be in the biggest bull run it's ever seen, is going to do what it needs to do. My average silver buy-in price at $18 or $19 in the future is going to be good. I had some cheaper, but when you average it all out, my gold buying it anywhere from $1,300 up to $1,800 or $1,700 and then backing off was the best thing I ever did. Because then I didn't buy it when it was at $2,000, but I was buying silver when it broke $20. And when the gold-silver ratio was way out of whack. So I've got such a system set up now that it's going to take years if you want to do what I'm doing. Because you can't just take money and put it everywhere because it's not going to be at the proper times. You've got to have a strategic plan. I've been doing this 6 years now. It took a number of years to get it right before that. So, real quick, the uptrending support here on XRP, my most important level right now, after if we break back below the 335 would be the 324 level. I'm making that a very important level. The 328 is as well, because that's where this bearish continuation should go to. We almost filled it out perfectly. But if we take this into the 30-minute, our pattern is coming up to the 200-day and also a very big rejection point here that I can show you in another chart. The 355 is up here, but we're coming up to the 348 level. And the 348 level is where we would most likely, if we get rejected, the first level would be here, the 344. So we're actually right up here right now. So we've got this level, then we've got the 348, which would seem more likely just because the 200-day is there. But as you can see, the volume looks like trash. And when the volume looks like trash, what do I always tell you? It's a key indicator that this pattern is not ready to reverse. You see all the sell volume in here. Hold on one sec. You see all the sell volume in here. See this puny little buy volume in there? I know we can't really see it, but it is there. I assure you there is some buy volume in here. I promise. You might need a microscope, but there is buy volume in here to the tune of 331,000 for, let's see, 24 minutes. 416,000 in that segment. 622, 815,000 were the big ones, but the hold volume 1.6. Another dump and then hold 2.27. The candles that actually caused us to dump 3.5 million. So you think 600,000 in return volume is going to get it done? You got another thing coming, Sally. You just got another thing coming. So pay attention. Don't get caught up in all the bullshit. Don't get caught up in all the FUD. And pay attention to what we're actually watching. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. And if you want to subscribe to Tom's Army, click on any of my past videos. And this is how I get the support from each and every one of you, because I don't take any paid advertising or anything like that. Which I could, and I could FUD it up in here, but that's not who I am. So if you want to join me, continue this journey with me, and show your appreciation for all the work I do. And if I've given you some knowledge, don't hesitate to join Tom's Army for $9.99 a month. Show me that support. You get the special emoji badges. You get me abducted by aliens in month 1 and so on, all the way to month 12 to the one that's next to my name, the I Told You So XRP emoji badge. It goes next to you on YouTube. You get all the members-only content. And you'll know it's members-only content because it says exclusive content. And there's a lot of it that you can go back in the database. And all of these are things you can watch from the past. In the past so many months. So there's just stuff in there. There's polls. There's ways that I get stuff from everybody. So it starts at $9.99. And if you do that, you also get the special Telegram that is free for everybody. I started this for everybody. There's 234 people in here. We've got the futures trading group. So if you're interested in futures trading, you can trade with everybody. This isn't for me to tell you what to do. This was to get a group of people together that understand futures trading. You don't need me to hold your hand. If you're futures trading, you don't want me leading the charge. I will tell you if I'm doing something, and I will also tell you when I'm in a futures trade or if I'm considering or if I see something. But if I'm not leading the charge, I'm going to let the chat lead the charge because there's a lot of special minds in there. We've also got the links so that you can see all the links I put out so that you can get all my content in one place. We got the precious metal group, which I think is the most underrated. There's 89 members. And I talk about when I buy things, we have members talking, and I'll answer any questions you have about precious metals. So it's a very inclusive, all-important community to be in. And it's all free. It all comes with being part of Tom's Army. I did that for all the special members of the Army. At first, 125 people joined without even any reason. Just they wanted to show me the support because I saved them all the money. Made them all the money in the bull market and then saved them at $1.66 and down. Because we've been liquid all across the markets. We judge it by $1.66 on XRP. And then, you know, just everybody being fully intact right now. And XRP is only at 34.5 cents. It speaks volumes because I don't think a lot of people would have thought they could have said that, especially nowadays. So that's the way it's going right now. And, you know, that's what we really need to pay attention to. So, and then also, I show you my exchanges, not because I get paid by them. They're not paying me to say this. I'm showing you this, and yeah, I might get a couple dollars, but I've made less than $200 by talking about MEXC. It's not about making money. And BIT got a little bit more because I made copy trading. I would get 10% of profits. So if you were copy trading me and we made a trade, it wouldn't come from you, but instead of BIT taking the their cut, they would give me 10% of it if I made money. So I had like $1,000 in profit, but that was from my trading in the futures, and I'll be very transparent with that. And that, you know, was a lot of stress and pressure, and some people were rubbed the wrong way because I was getting 10% off of their gains, but it was from my copy trade. You were copy trading me, so I had to do all the work. So I think it was a pretty cool thing that if I was doing the work or making a good trade, I would at least get some back on. So all the stress wasn't for nothing. Because I had 100 people following me, so it was pretty stressful. But BitGet, we can't do copy trading anymore. It's not available in the USA. There's no VPN. Well, you have to use a VPN now, but they don't offer it anymore. I can't do it because of where my IP address is. Can still trade on there, but I do go on there often. And then UPHOLD is my most trusted. It's just a lot of spot fees. So learn from my past mistakes. Don't pay the spot fees. Use the links I provide for you. I'm here for you. I do it for you, and I do it for myself as well. Hashtag the FUD stops here.